Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Presented by Carolina Lightweights. Come grip with us. When the action begins in the studio, our referees for tonight's event are Gato, Azul, and Carolina Real Streamers. For the slime lovers in attendance and YouTube and Facebook users from around the world, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Live from the Gato Azul TV studio in Louisville, Texas, it's time!
What's up, slime lovers? I'm your host, Chris, a.k.a. Gato Azul. It's my partner in slime over here, Mr. Jamie Dunn, Carolina Lightweights. Down here, we got the one and only Paula Smith, the queen of catfishing. Welcome in, Paula. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
It's going to be a good show, so I've been looking forward to this one. You know, guys, we brought Paula on a couple weeks ago to our Carolina Lightweights pro staff just to kind of help us. You know, we love Paula. Who doesn't love Paula? But she's instantly become just an awesome teammate, good friend. We're honored to have you with us. So, Jamie,
welcome to the team, Miss Paula.
Thank you. You don't have to call me Miss. I'm reminded every morning when I get up how old I am.
Well, I tell you what, I know back in the she loves having you part of this team, and I know you have brought tremendous, just breathtaking to us, just a whole new excitement, and we really do appreciate you being on our team. That's for sure.
Well, thank you.
So
I still got it.
Most people are familiar with you, Paula, but for those that aren't, tell us a little bit, kind of where you're from, what waters you fish, how long you've been doing it, those kind of things.
Naturally, you can tell by my accent, I'm from Tennessee. Humphreys County is where I live. I was born in Perry County, which is the Buffalo River, and here in Humphreys County, we've got the Duck River and the Tennessee River, and I fish the Tennessee River mostly, 95% of the time. Well, the Duck and the Tennessee. The Duck is like my little private. I'll tell you anything about the Tennessee, but I'll hold back on the Duck.
You keep those secrets on the Duck, huh? So you
prefer
the Duck?
Do I?
You prefer the Duck?
It's not that I prefer it. I've pulled probably most of 99% of my flatheads out of the Duck. I got a 82 something blue cat off the Duck, but there's just the Duck is the longest flowing river in the state of Tennessee that flows.
Okay. So it doesn't have a bunch of lakes that are impounded on that stretch.
No, and my end is where it dumps into the Tennessee, and it's the deepest end. You go further east, it just maybe 9 foot. You're lucky if you don't have to get out and push your boat. My area, you got you some honey holes.
I know. Well, I got an echo. I know we got some Tennessee guys in here. Let's run down the list on who's in here right now. So we got Anthony Kelly, welcome in. We got 351 Cleveland. We got Jeff Martin, one of my hometown boys. Facebook user, howdy woohoo. Can't see you, but appreciate you coming in. We got Creole Catfishing. What's up, buddy? We got Flathead Doty. He was on the show the other night. He was a good guest. Another Facebook user says, hello, Paula. We got Micah Burkhart, Tennessee River Boy.
I'm fixing to have to get after Micah.
We had him on the show. That was a great show. It was interesting to hear him talk about his records. We got Michael Letty. He's he sent me a signed hat from Jimmy Houston the other day. We're working on getting Jimmy on the show. I know he's not a cat fisherman really, but he's probably had more influence on me than any other angler. That would be a dream for me if we could get him on the show. We got Matthew Kiker. What's up, Matt? Moving on down. Let's see. We got Parker Pursuits. We had Jerry on a couple of weeks ago. He's an awesome guest.
Yep.
Loved having him on. We got Dougie Fresh. That's the real Dougie Fresh. He's a Dallas guy. We got Brandon Ladd, another Tennessee River boy. Certified Fishing Nut. What's up, Clayton? And 731 Catfishing. So
we've got a good crowd in town. Man, everybody should see you tonight.
Looks like the Tennessee crowd came in tonight, Paula.
That's it.
Woohoo! Yeah, Brandon, Mike, and them, they got the Cumberland. You know, they got the state records.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's crazy is Micah said he thinks that was the same fish he caught last year.
Yeah, when I talked to him in Knoxville at the catfish or the Pigeon Forge thing, we both talked about how we thought it was the same catfish.
Yeah, I would say as close as the weight it is, it's probably got to be.
I don't know if a lot of people know this. You know how flatheads are territorial?
Yeah.
When a blue cat gets 80, 90, 100 pounds, they stay within a 5-mile radius. That's a home. They're kind of territorial. You know, the bigger they get, the more they want to stay put.
Yeah. I think having an open river system, they can move a lot further than a lot of places. It's kind of a closed system, so they can only go so far. But I've heard they like to stay pretty close to where they were born.
Yeah.
But then again, through the tagging program, I've seen them travel hundreds of miles. It's like crazy how far.
I think they travel up to like 28 miles a day.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of water out there.
Yeah.
You know, like the Tennessee
kind of
River where I'm at, I mean, we've got a lot of the Kentucky Lake, you know, with it. So, I mean, you could not fish within a 5-mile radius in either direction. You couldn't fish that whole body of water in one day. You know, you couldn't cover it.
Said CPR works.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. Brandon Ladd says he's waiting another 9 months so he can go find him.
Brandon, I'm gonna beat you there. I'm gonna try it in about 8 months.
There you go. There you go. How close do you fish towards that area?
I'm really, if you go by the woods and stuff, I'm not that far. But it takes about 40 minutes to get to Liberty Park, where they usually launch most of their tournaments. But like Cumberland City, I mean, it's probably 25 minutes and you're on the Cumberland. So where Micah caught his fish, which I don't know the exact area, I just think I think it was close to Dover. You know, I mean, the Cumberland's a good river. The Cumberland's a good flathead river. I know Micah's got 2 state records there. It's a blue cat, and the previous state record blue cat is on the Cumberland, which blows my mind because I know that if they're that big on the Cumberland, we've got to have a 250-pound on the Tennessee. You know, I mean, it's just wider, bigger, more area. I don't know.
You know, you hear a lot talking about the Tennessee River and things like that. I mean, how often do you fish it? About every weekend? What?
Jeff Martin says he's getting some feedback, and I tell you, I'm getting a little bit too. So, Paul already went out and came back in. Jamie, why don't you try this time?
All right.
See if that fixes it.
All right.
So technical difficulties. It's just part of doing a show when you're rookies. Country Catfish with Chuck says, "Hey everybody," and yeah, I don't hear the echo. Do y'all still hear the echo? Let me bring Jamie back in.
How about now, brother?
I still
Loud and
get
clear.
y'all are clear. I'm gonna bump out.
Live
Boy, 3 peas in a pod.
That's it. That's it. Live TV. Well, Paula, for the ones out in chat, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? How did you get into the catfishing world?
I was raised, in the country with two brothers. They're both of them have passed, and we'd sneak off and go fishing. My mother didn't want us around the water; she couldn't swim, so we'd sneak off, go fishing. But I started with a cane pole. I can take you out right now and make a cane pole, and we could fish all day long.
That's it.
My daddy and I've just always been a tomboy. I mean, you give me a tractor or a truck or a car, I'd rather drive the tractor. I mean, I work outside. I pulled T-post all day long and then come home mowed. I mean, that's just I love it. So.
Paula, they say we're still getting feedback. So
Don't make me bounce back out. You may never get me again.
But when we met you up in Tennessee at the show. That was a lot of fun, and talking to you and everything. That was definitely a lot of fun. And I took Rebecca. She was like, I can't wait to meet her. And here you are, part of our team, and it's amazing.
Okay, I turned my volume down. Did that help?
yeah,
That was it.
Okay. Huh. Well, I tell you, it's been a long, journey for a couple of years, and I'm so. It's just like a kid at Christmas right now. It's like I cannot wait to just. I can get out there now and leave Ken at the house. Don't have to listen to me and Ken, we love each other to death, but we get on a boat. He's like, slow down, enjoy the thrill. And, it's like, pull it this way. And I turn around and look at him like the exorcist, like, shut up. I know what I'm doing, but I mean, we go on back and forth like that fishing, but it's just, when I got into the fishing, I call it professional fishing. I had a lot of backlash of him being a game warden, and that's the only reason that I was catching fish. And I wanted to be noted for my accomplishment. I'm the one that tied my hook on. I'm the one that cut the bait. I'm the one that has got the slime all over. I'm the one that slung that reel out, cast. And
Paula, I think you earned your respect. If there's somebody out there who's talking trash, it's probably because they're jealous that you catching bigger fish than them. Guys don't like it when girls outfish them. So
y'all don't like a lot of things when girls out, do you?
Well, I can tell you, Rebecca outfishes me a lot, so I'm used to
it. Go, Rebecca. I'm just like I said, I'm a tomboy, and like I don't do pink. The reason, the reason being is if you open a box of crayons, what's a weak color? White, pink. You draw it on a piece of paper and you barely can see it. What's a strong color? blues, purple, brown, black, so I don't like pink because I don't want to be labeled weak.
Yeah.
So now you got breast cancer is a pink ribbon, lung cancer, which is what I had, is white. I'm not against any of that. I just don't do pink.
Yeah. You like red and white, which I think's cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
Matthew Kiker says, "What's your favorite bait for big flatheads, Mrs. Paula?"
Um, most people say live bluegill or whatnot. I've caught just as many flatheads on cut bait as I have live bait. I'll tell you what I want. I want some bloody shad. My go-to bait is shad in my area because we don't have prevalent. Skipjack is not prevalent in our area because we blew up our TVA, so we don't have a skipjack constantly. So gizzard shad is my go-to bait. Now the 88 I caught, we had launched the boat, throw the net, caught 4 or 5, probably 6-inch gizzard shad. Went out to it was flooding. Went out to the mouth of the creek, and this is just behind my house. Went out to the mouth of the creek right at the drop off. Set up. We didn't even see the fish. We seen a huge school of Asian carp, and we set up about 25 foot above them Asian carp. Cast it out. Probably hadn't sat there maybe because I like to move about every 30 minutes. It was December. It was kind of warm. It was December 31st, and we've probably been there maybe 10 minutes. And that pole went down, and I couldn't get it out of the rod holder, and I thought, oh boy, this is going to be fun, and it was fun.
Happy New Year!
Yeah. After it was all said and done, Ken said, I guess you want to go home now. Yeah, I do. Because we didn't have service out there. And I was like, yeah, I got to go home and post this on Facebook.
That's a good way to finish the year right there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Creole says Paula can definitely outfish me, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Oh, Creole, I don't know about that. You beat me in our little tournament we had. I was sick though that day. We had like a little online tournament, and Ryan Bortz and me was fishing a tournament on the Cumberland out of Liberty Park. We didn't do worth a hoot.
I know. I see here. Country Catfish says, "I'm not ashamed to admit that you could really outfish them." So.
Well, I do appreciate it. I mean, I truly do appreciate it when people compliment me, and it means a lot. It really does.
How big was the fish that you caught on New Year's Eve?
Well, that was the 88. He probably, truth be known, he was probably anywhere from 90 to 95 because Ken didn't have him completely up off the boat.
Yeah,
if you go back and look at the video, so we said 88, so he stuck with it because that's what we said, and he was a big catfish. I could have stuck my shoulders and my head in his mouth. I mean, his whiskers was probably 1.5 feet long. It was unreal. Of course, I rode him off my lap.
Whiskers.
I mean, I've got pictures, it's like, man, his whiskers are from my tip of my finger to my elbow. That's 1.5 feet maybe. I mean,
I think fishing New Year's Eve must be lucky because this past New Year's Eve, my son, he broke the lake record on our lake, all tackle record on New Year's Eve. And about 30 minutes later, I caught one that was almost the exact same size. Luckily, his outweighed mine. But
that's
we
awesome.
Both broke the lake record same trip, and it made the very coolest picture having those two fish with my boy sitting in front of, and I'll never forget that. I want to
No,
go
you
fishing on that night every year now.
exactly, and especially being with your son. I mean, that's something he will remember his entire life.
Yeah, it was cool. We caught it on a live stream, so we got it all recorded on video, and that's kind of why we started doing all the whole YouTube, so I could record, our adventures with him. So, how did you get? What made you want to get to doing this kind of stuff?
I don't put everything out. I just love to fish. um, and then when you started getting sponsors, put some content out, and I started putting content out, and uh, started having to watch what my mouth. As country girls say things we don't need to sometimes.
We've been known to let a few things slip on here.
um, a lot of times it's like you miss you'll get a really good takedown and be like, oh, get the camera, get the video going, and you miss the enjoyment because you're trying to get it on
Yeah,
film.
it's a beating. But when you do get those moments and you think, I got that. Now I've got it forever. But I think it's really special having my son to do it with.
Oh
Because
yeah.
if it were, we made a million memories, but before I had him, I thought I didn't care. But I thought, man, we're having all these memories. I better start getting some of this stuff captured because you keep it on your phone. When you lose your phone, it's gone. You put
It's
it on a
gone.
computer, your computer crashes, it's gone.
Right.
But YouTube, it's there. I mean, unless YouTube goes away, but I mean,
Yeah, you need to download it onto something, because y'all probably don't remember 8 tracks or cassette
oh, I
tapes.
do. I do.
They're gone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, cameras are gone.
Yeah.
Where you take pictures, you've got photo albums. Now it's
Yeah.
all on computer, and oh well, let me see that picture from so and so. Well, let's scroll down through these 5,000 pictures,
Yeah.
and find it. But
Yeah. I used to carry a Polaroid that shot a piece of film out of it when I was a kid in the 80s catching fish. I would carry my Polaroid. Man, I was high tech, I was like,
you were top dog. Yeah, you were top dog in the neighborhood, wasn't you?
yeah. And I still got some of those pictures. Now I've lost the majority of them, some, just through life, but I still
Yeah.
got some of those Polaroid pictures, and I love breaking those out and just remembering, like, wow, I remember that day like it was yesterday. And if I didn't have that Polaroid, it just turn into a haze, and it'd be gone. That memory would be gone. But
Right. Well, I hope I never get dementia. I'm sure I will, but like the chemo treatments and the immuno treatments, they cause you have brain bubbles, is what I want to say. um, but that'll eventually clear up. But I was kind of worried. Am I going to be able to remember to look beside me when I'm coming out of the bay? Am I going to remember to, when I go to make a sharp curve around the bend, to make sure a boat's not coming around? It's kind of scary right now. That's where I'm at. It's like, oh, but I went out, I think it was last week. I went out, and it just was like, wow, I miss so much,
It's a lot of good therapy being there and being back to what and it just makes you feel like the world doesn't exist. It's just you and out there in nature.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah,
helps out a lot.
I bought a reel down there, and I put it on one of my new rods, and you know, and I strung it through the hose and tied everything on there, and it was like, yes, I got this. Got it. And then Ken said, you're going to have to restring this. I said, why? He said, you went through the, what's that little eyelet on the reel? He said, you went in wrong. I was like, dadgummit. So, I mean, I was almost close,
But
it's good now.
that's it. Just like the big fish that you're telling us about and stuff, you know, it's just hearing those stories, you know, just sitting there smiling, and you know, it's things like that. You talk about memories and stuff, and that just makes you want to get back out and just keep going so much more, you know, knowing, hey, there's a bigger one out there, and that drive to
I mean, everybody will have a personal best, always. You know,
I think the PB trips, Paula, are some of the funnest trips, and I'm
right.
fortunate. I get to take a lot of kids because my son, and I try to bring friends that have kids that are similar age. And to me, those are my favorite trips because it's really easy to get those boys PBs, and I
Yeah,
just
my grandsons, now they love to get on the boat and go fishing. My son, he says, Mama, I don't give two bubbles about, I'll just say bleeps about your fishing, which, you know, and that's okay. He deer hunts. I mean, he is like I am about fishing, he is about hunting, but he's archery, you know. Now I archery hunt too, but fishing is my thing. Uh, Now, if my grandkids are on the boat, you know, I'm just, oh, please let them catch one. Please let them catch one.
yeah,
If somebody adult is on my boat, you better not get in my way because I'm fixing to trip you, knock you down, because that's my boat.
yeah.
that's like my Rebecca hook. When Rebecca hooks into a big one, I don't go nowhere near it. I just let her just roll right on.
My
It's
buddies that come
smart.
fishing, they're like, man, because I jump on it like a chicken on a June bug. I'm like, I've fished for so long on the
It's
boat by
habit.
myself. I know that if like you're at like 2 seconds late, you gonna miss the damn fish.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
But if you get there quick when that thing is doing that, you get them almost every time. So you know, I've fished enough with guys where I'll try to let them get it, but then we'll have a day where they're just so disappointed because they're missing all these fish, and I'm just like, well, I'm gonna hook it up. You catch all of them that you want. I'm gonna hook these damn things because I
Yeah.
can't stand to sit there and watch you.
I can't either. I mean, and I'm not trying to be greedy or
I,
mean or anything. It's just a habit, you know. When I see a pole
it's a
being,
reaction.
yeah, you
Yeah, my
know,
buddy's like, how'd you even see that? I mean, they're like, I never
because
seen
you
a human move so damn
when
fast.
you are like, especially if you are if you're anchored, you know. I don't know how many poles y'all have out at one time. I've got 10 rod holders on my boat. I'll have 10 poles out. And the whole time, if Ken's on the boat or somebody else is on the boat, we can be carrying on the biggest conversation in the world, but my eyes will be constantly doing this
Yeah,
right here.
I'm that way the whole day. I don't spend more than 2 seconds without
Yeah, your
my
peripheral
peripheral
vision
looking.
is going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you can lose your best fish, and if you're out there to catch big fish, you got so many chances at them throughout the day. You miss one or two of those, you've really screwed yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, if you could have got, there's a fine line between victory and defeat in blue catting or catfishing.
Yeah.
Uh, you catch that one or two, and you're the king of the freaking world. You miss
Yeah.
those one or two, you go home feeling terrible.
Oh, you're just like, you know, you're just like the dumbest, you know, I cannot believe I done that. You know, I'm not,
Yeah.
don't you tell nobody about that. Or, you
I do
know,
that
I've
a lot.
had some misses.
I do that a lot.
Yeah, it's like, you know, what did I do wrong today? You know, what did I do different? the last time I fished in that area. It's almost like going to college. You can get pretty deep into that.
That's it. Well, I tell you what, though, just like when me and Rebecca goes out there, we have so much fun. And she, like I said, we've watched you and some of your videos and stuff, and she's like, I just love Miss Paula. So you've definitely got a fan. She talks about you all the time.
Did y'all see the one where the snake was in the water and he was swimming to the back of the boat? And I'm saying, Ken, he's not getting on this boat. And Ken's like, he's just trying to catch a ride. I said, well, he shouldn't have took off swimming. And of course Ken gets him on the boat. And I knew if Ken would let me, I said, well, let me hold him. And this was what I was thinking was, if you let me hold that snake, I'll squeeze his neck so hard that it'll break his little head and neck. And Ken give it to me, and man, he took it away from me mad. And he's walking towards the front of the boat, cussing, and I knew I shouldn't let you have that snake. You're trying to kill it. I said, no, I wasn't.
I'm gonna tell you, first of all, if you bring the snake in the boat while I'm in there, I'm going out the other side.
Right. I don't want no snake on the boat, period. I don't want no snake nowhere near me. Ken's the snake saver of the world. He really is.
I don't like poisonous snakes. That's for dang sure.
Well, this was a rat snake.
Okay, I can tell the difference between the two. So those don't freak me out too much, because when I was a boy, I'd catch them for fun. But Chuck Watkins says that's why you need bite lights at night on the rods, and I am a firm believer you won't miss that movement.
That's right.
So y'all go get you some bite lights from Chuck. I put them on my planer boards. They work pretty dang good for those too. So
yeah, I'm excited to get out there. And
that's them right there. So if y'all need them, we have them.
Show them. So people
there you
know what
go.
they are. Give Chuck a little plug.
Hey, Chuck is an awesome person. He messaged me every day that I was sick.
So guys, that's awesome. Chuck's a big supporter and a ton of different groups, and he's got a really cool product. You can see, I mean, they light up really good.
He is a great guy.
Guys that don't know what a bite light is, it's a battery operated LED. You can put them on your rod tips. It's got a little plastic PVC tube that you put on, you slide over, and then you put it on, and you put them in your planer boards. I noticed he had a little deal the other day where he posted about putting them up on your way back from your deer blind so you don't get lost coming out after dark. So
better not be in them woods if you're gonna get lost. If you don't know north, south, east, or west, you better get out of them woods before dark comes.
That's it.
Or sit where you at till daylight.
I've actually done that before when I used to coon hunt a lot. We get lost up in the woods and forget.
Yeah, you get turned around in them woods at dark, boy. You better know your directions.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah, we used to hunt out in New Mexico, out in the foothills of the Capitan Mountains, and it was like a 30,000 acre ranch, and the fences are so far apart. We got out there late. We got done late and got turned around. I was pretty young, and they just said, if you get lost, just
stay put,
shoot off some rounds, and we'll come find you. And that's what we had to do. We got turned around. 30,000 acres is big, and those foothills, you get around one, you don't know north, south, east, west.
Yeah, I mean, you could close your eyes and somebody twist you around, and lost. They sneak off. You're lost.
We were lost.
You're pretty much lost. Just climb a tree and sit still till daylight.
That's it.
We built a little fire and fired off some rounds, and they came and got us. So.
Hey, when I went to New Mexico and fished with Chris Flores, I love New Mexico.
Oh, New Mexico is awesome, isn't it?
Yes, I loved it. He's got a really good friend, Sam. I can't even think of his last name right now, but he elk hunts. And I was going to go back this year and take Ken and let Ken go elk hunting, and I was going to go catfishing, but we just didn't get around to it. We're going to try it next year.
Yeah, they've got elk out there. They've really started getting a lot more. It seems like when I used to hunt out in the like it was around Corona, New Mexico, where that UFO crashed, and it was all mule deer when I was a boy. But now there ain't any mule deer there. All the elk have moved in and run them all out.
Did you say like UFO as in unidentified
Yeah,
object,
you know,
Mars, space?
Roswell crash was right is somewhere right around Corona where we would hunt the foothills of the Capitan Mountains, which is one of the only places you can still go in the United States where there's no barbed wire fences and the cows walk over the roads, and it's like
Oh, wow.
you can't see a house for 50 miles. It's crazy. But yeah,
Well,
that's where
you
we
could
used to
come to
hunt.
my house and you can't see a house for 50 miles.
Yeah, but I'm saying there's not a house for 50 miles. You might, there's woods where you're at, so they're hidden.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, where you're talking about is just what are those called? Those bushes that just roll around or
Yes, tumbleweeds.
tumbleweeds.
Yeah,
And if it rains, it's like it could
yeah,
be just
yeah. So,
dry as a bone, and then all of a sudden, just a river's coming at you.
and when it snows, it snows. It's
Yeah,
pretty hardcore.
I
They call
loved it.
that area the Poverty Flats because when people tried to settle out there, they all went. There's just nothing out there.
Yeah, Elephant Butte is where I was at. I don't know if they got counties or what they call them or not, but there was a lot of pecan trees and stuff. I didn't know they grew that kind of stuff down there.
The pecan trees, they used to plant the pecans. So they said the Indians would plant the pecans around where the water was, so that they could
Wow.
see where the water was from a long ways off. So, the pecan trees were hundreds of years old. It was always around where the water was, so that it was like a marker for the Indians. But they said it really served them bad when white man came in because they knew that they could just go where the pecan trees were and wipe the Indians out. So
Right.
New
The
Mexico's
Tennessee
Indian
Rivers,
country.
the Tennessee River has a lot of history with the Cherokee Indians.
Yeah,
Uh, like y'all really got me to. I used to research just all the time, and the last couple of days I've been researching about the Tennessee River, and like it's run off in 7 states, and where it starts, and like it's one of Ohio's biggest tributaries. It's, I mean, it's like, wow, they have got me back into it. It's, you know, I'll be up probably tonight researching more because I used to do that, until I got sick. And
I think it's super interesting to me. I,
yeah,
I
I
just
mean,
I love
it's amazing what you don't know about. Uh, like we're all, not all of us, I can't speak for everybody, but I'm just going to speak for me. Oh, well, let's load up and go to Wheeler, or let's load up and go to Wilson. Well, that's the Tennessee River. You know what I'm saying? Them fish are here too. You just have to hunt for them because we turn into Tennessee River, Kentucky Lake. We're wider. So
Chuck
they've got a
says
lot of
that's
dams
part of
to
the
cross.
Trail of Tears. Chuck says that's part of the Trail of Tears, Paula. And I'll say, where my dad grew up is Fort Sumner, New Mexico, and that's where the fort started, where they rounded up the Cherokee and started moving them to their. So there's a big giant museum there for the Trail of Tears. So that's something that
Wow.
strikes a nerve with me, or it's really hits home with me because we always go to those museums out there and see how things really happened, and That's where that trail of tears started. Was
Well, now Chris took me into Mexico, where, and I may be wrong on this, but it was where Billy the Kid was locked up in jail.
that? Hey, Billy the Kid, Fort Sumner is where he hung out quite a bit.
Yeah.
So the Billy the
Yeah,
Kid Museum is in
yeah,
Fort
that's
Sumner.
where I went, and I think I don't want to scream at Ken, but Billy the Kid over here in my county, in Humphreys County, has 2 kids buried in New Johnsonville, Tennessee. We've got some history here too.
Yeah, I find that interesting. And when we were kids, we'd go arrowhead hunting, and you could find them pretty much every time you go look. I think kids don't get to do that quite, like they used to.
Well, they don't break ground like they used to. Yeah, everything's no till, so
Yeah.
kids don't get. Now, my oldest grandson, I took him arrowhead hunting in a field by the Buffalo River. We've got a lot of artifacts. Ken makes arrowheads. He naps out arrowheads, and
Oh
you can't.
yeah, I've got some buddies that do that. I think that's just one of the coolest things. They make knives and like
Yes,
axes and
yes, it makes me
obsidian,
mad.
obsidian, flint, all that. I think
I
that's
love
super
that
cool.
history, man. I love hearing about the history and studying. I mean, it's just so cool. I want to get out there and see some of this myself.
I'm gonna tell you, you should watch if you ever could go to a nap in. That's what they call them around here. It's
Yeah.
where people that know how to make arrowheads.
Yeah.
I mean, I can sit and watch Ken, and it's like he'll have this rock, this chunk of rock, and in 30 minutes he's got this perfect arrowhead, and he's tried to teach me, but I get so frustrated with it. It's like, can I not take a pair of wire pliers and just go around and, pinch all the way around it and get my little, make it like a Christmas tree? He said, no, it don't work that way. You got to know where to hit it just right. It's an art to be able to do.
Yeah, that's something I definitely couldn't do. I wouldn't have the patience myself.
I've tried, and it's not my thing. It's not my thing.
I think it's cool. I got a buddy that naps flint, and he makes his own bows and arrows, and he was a big time outfitter and wrote articles in magazines. But I think it's cool that guys are still carrying that tradition on. So
Exactly. And they're doing it like Ken does it from scratch. A lot of people are taking like wet saws and sawing out the rock, and it's real smooth or shiny. Ken's is not like that. His is like from scratch. He uses the old timey method, and
yeah.
or if we go to the creek, we'll be walking, and next thing you know, it's like, where'd Ken go? And
He's
you look
looking for
behind you, and
rocks.
he's picked up 2 rocks over there, hitting them together, seeing if there's arrowhead material.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's how my buddy was. He'd be like, hey, I see some whatever kind of tree that he liked to make his stuff out of. He's like, can you pull the boat over there? Because it's like some type of tree that grows right on the water. He's like, that's going to make a good, those gonna make some good arrows. I'm like, sure, man.
When me and Ken got married, this is how extravagant we are. We come home and just I think he went game warden, and I don't remember what I think I went out and worked on I've got a waterfall, 7-layer waterfall in my yard. I think I went out and worked on it. The next day we went and floated the Buffalo River, and we were going by this high bank, which was clay. Ken said, look, there's an arrowhead. I said, where's it at? It's mine. And he's got that in one of those cases that's, you put your arrowheads in. But I mean, it was like, that's my arrowhead. The boat come on my end.
It's tradition and it's history like that, that I hope we can all just keep going. I mean, it's amazing to hear about the study. We need more of that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just like my daddy taught me how to make a cane pole. You know, I've taught my oldest grandson how to make one, and I'll teach my youngest, and then we've got another one coming in April, and I'm praying that it'll be a little girl because she's gonna be just like me.
Hey,
I
Paula,
mean,
can we see you catch one of those 80 some odd pounders on a cane pole? I want to see that one on video.
I don't know if it'd be hard to. You probably could get it in if you took the time. But if you're anything like me, I want to see what's trying to drag me off that boat.
I do too. I've got a friend that lives in Alabama, and he does traditional hand lining with yo-yo, and he makes like hand carved yo-yos, and he fishes out of his boat with a hand line. And I'm like, what happens when you hang a monster? He's like, it gets pretty hardcore, but
Rope burn, I bet.
yeah, no kidding. Right? But I didn't even know, but that is one of the original ways, I guess, that people caught catfishing. He's like, yeah, this is an old style of fishing from the 1800s, and this is how they used to do it. So, guys
Wow.
were catching big fish a couple hundred years ago. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I know that Indians caught flatheads and stuff. They noodled. Noodling comes from Indians.
Yeah,
So
I'm not going to be a noodler.
me
I like
neither.
I like my fingers.
I like my bad cat's rods.
I'll stick to the rod reel.
At work today, I don't know if y'all have heard of Taylor Lynn. It's Loretta's granddaughter, and she sings. And they were going on the road today, and all of her band had pulled up, and she said, "Y'all, this is Paula. She noodles catfish." I said, "No, I don't noodle. I rod and reel."
Paula Jody says Paula's the only one I know with a 7'6" heavy action cane pole.
Hey, you can make a cane pole any size.
That's it. I haven't done that since I was a little boy. I would actually love to try that again.
Yeah. I remember the last fish I caught on a cane pole. It was probably a 10-pound blue cat, and I was so proud. And of course, Daddy spoiled me. We had it for supper that night. That was he was proud. So let's cook it and show her that she did something good. But I mean, didn't y'all make slingshots? Homemade
Yeah.
slingshots? Yeah, with the inner tubes and the right kind of little fork. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to teach my grandkids all that stuff. If they get hurt when they get home, I mean, that's on them. Not now.
I had a pocket knife and stuff at 7, but my son's 7, and I think, no way in
Yeah.
hell I'm giving him a pocket knife. He'll have that thing. You take that thing to school now. It's not just.
It's a
Hey,
weapon.
take that thing. Give me that, and I'm gonna give it to your dad. No,
No.
now it's going on their permanent record. I'm like, permanent record at 7.
Yeah. Yeah. Do
times have
y'all
changed.
remember going to high school when you got to drive? You had your gun rack in the back glass and you shotgun or 410 or whatever.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna see that no more.
We
Heck
actually
no.
we used to actually go duck
You'll be
hunting.
cuffed and stuffed. You do that these days.
We actually used to take our boats and go duck hunting before school, and then run to class after coming from the river. So, we used to have a lot of that fun. Now you cannot do that.
No,
Yeah.
I mean things have went crazy.
Yeah, we take our shotguns, and after school we go dove hunting, and
Yeah.
the field was, a couple 300 yards from the school. You go shooting off next to a school now, you're gonna have 5 cop cars over there on your ass.
Oh man, you're gonna have Homeland Security is what you're gonna have. Things are crazy. It really is, and I hate that. I hate that for your son.
Yeah.
I hate it for my grandchildren, but I hope they can change it. By the way you raise him, by the way that my son and his wife raised my grandchildren. Maybe that generation can change it.
Somewhat of an old school type of way, but you can't really be fully that way because there's a lot of stuff that's going to get them in trouble, like like the pocket knife to school.
Right.
When I was a kid, we all carried pocket knives. You could carry it to school.
Oh
You
yeah.
could bring
Right.
it to school. It wasn't a problem to have a little, pocket knife. I mean, we had the little, I don't know what they call Swiss Army knife. It was
Yeah.
most boys' first knife. It's got like 10 little blades and
That little screw thing.
it's got
Yeah.
little. Yeah, we all carried those, and it was like a rite of passage that you got that
Yeah.
when you were about 7 years old. So now people are like, how dare you give that
Yeah.
boy a pocket knife?
That the old slingshots, man. We used to use them all the time. The old slingshots.
Oh
Yeah.
man. I mean, we used to tear each other up with them slingshots.
Yeah,
You know, I hate that your son's generation, the generations come up, they're not going to have near the fun that we had. My brothers, we lived on a gravel road when I was growing up. We live on one now. But my brothers, I'd say, oh, can I go? Can I go? They're going to go hunting or what? And they'd say, yeah, if you'll run down the bridge and back barefooted. Well, off I'd go. Of course, when I got back, they were gone. But I fell for it every time. I got some tough feet. But you take a kid now and ask them to go barefooted, like, let's walk down to the mailbox, boys. 2 steps and it's, they ain't going nowhere.
You can't keep my boy in shoes. And we went and fished at the river last weekend, and he was in the river. I'm like, you're gonna cut your feet. But I
Yeah.
couldn't keep him out of. I mean, you've seen my son. I can't keep him out of the water. He's all up in that. And I'm like, I could sit here and just rip his ass all day, or just let him do what I used to do. If he cuts his foot, then we're gonna have to leave. But
Right.
that's just part of it, I mean, he didn't cut his foot. We fished all day, and he had a great time. At some point where he might cut his foot doing that, and that'll be another lesson he learned. So,
And it will be.
I told him, put your damn shoes on. He didn't want to do it. So,
And it will be. We're overprotective, and
Paula, you say that. When I was Jackson's age, my mama let me go down to the lake, which was 2 miles from the house. At 7, I could leave and go fishing with my 2 other little buddies. We're 7 years old. We would be 2 miles from the house. There is no way in hell I would let my son be 2 miles away from the house in this day and age.
Right.
It's crazy out there.
Yeah. Well, when the boys come over here, there's a rule of thumb. You get to watch TV for about an hour, and then we're going outside. We're not going to sit in this house. We're not going, we're not going to be on these video games. We're going to go outside.
Yeah.
You're going to help Nana pick cucumbers, or, we're going to walk down the road. If we lived in town, or if we had a neighbor, they're not outside. I'm out there with them. But do you remember? I don't remember growing up and my mother or my father being out there with me all the time.
No,
We snuck
Mom
off all
told
the
me,
time.
get out of the house.
Yeah,
That's
don't
it.
come
Get
back
out of
till
here.
dark.
And don't come back till it's dark.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, earlier I said my mother hated us to get around water, go to the creek, anything. So we'd slip off to the creek, and swim and play and catch crawdads and, and probably stepped on 10,000 rattlesnakes, but we wouldn't come back till our clothes were dry. Nowadays you can't do that. It's sad.
We used to come home, get off the school bus, go change clothes, and go right to the hay field, pick up hay until dark, go home, do your schoolwork, then eat, and then bed. That was the way it was. And then
did you have to tote wood in?
Yeah. Yep. And then when you had a big garden, you go out there and pick the peas, and it was something to do.
Or they backed the truck up with a truck back end load of corn. You had to shuck it, and then you had a toothbrush, and there better not be a hair on that corn cob when you handed it to Mama. Yeah, we had the best life, all right. We were free slaves, or what do they call that? Free labor.
Yeah. And that's just like when you go to school half the time. We were talking about going earlier, going hunting and stuff. So when you show up at school, your dress code was pretty much camo every day, in the wintertime. So, I mean, what everybody was doing.
Yeah.
So it's
You see somebody in camo now, it's like, you better go lock your doors and.
Oh, look at that kid. He's trouble.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luckily, my son still loves to wear camo. He wants to play with the pocket knife. Now, I can only give it to him to let him play with it at home or on the boat. I let him play with the knives. Guys are like, how dare you let that boy play with those sharp knives? I'm like, he's been cutting bait since he was 2. He's never cut himself. The difference is he knows how to use the knife. Now, another boy comes on the boat whose daddy never let him play with a knife. He's going to cut his finger off.
Right.
But, my son's been doing it. He climbs all over the boat like a damn monkey. He's been doing it.
Right.
Another friend comes on the boat, and we have to monitor him because he'll be hurt within 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah, I won't take any of my grandson's friends, like I will take them if their parent is with them. I don't want
that's pretty much how I do it.
Yeah, I don't want the responsibility.
I don't, sometimes you got to get on to a kid, and I don't want to have to get on to another kid.
Right.
They do get wild on the boat, and they can get hurt. It can.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But you'll see my son on the T-top upside down. The guy's like,
where'd he go? He's up there.
That's why we love watching Chris when he goes fishing. You never know where he's gonna pop up out.
He always, Jamie. He always pulls that crap when I got like 2 fish on, and he's like, I'm not reeling one in, Dad. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm reeling them in. I'm dealing with all this crap, and then I look up, and he's like upside down, waving at the fish.
Yeah, but ain't that the funnest?
It is. I cherish it. It's not easy fishing with a kid, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now my 7-year-old grandson, you know how short their attention span is. You get out on the water, it's like they're anxious. Let's get up and go. We're going fishing. About 30 minutes later, it's like, well, I'm ready to go home. I'm done eat all the snacks. It's hot out here. He will sit out there. He's like me. He will sit there. When am I going to get to catch another one? He's watching that pole, Now the oldest one, he'll fish, and he's more like his daddy. He's already won trophies archery hunting. The least one, he's a catfishman. So this little girl, if it's a girl, I promise you, she will be a catfisherman. She will inherit Paula's boat.
My son likes to make traps. Like he likes to put a string in between one of the rod holders and the center console, so that when you go around there quickly, he's got you. And it's like, yeah. Or he likes to play with his dog a lot, but I don't really force him to fish. Some days he wants to catch them all. Like I'll have a day where he's just on them,
Yeah.
And but then some days he just wants to catch 1 or 2, and he's done, and he just wants to play with his dog,
and that's good.
That's
right, because if you try to force it on them, they're gonna not want to do it later.
Yeah, that's one thing about my son, Paula. He is the first one in the truck in the morning. He will never say no when I ask him, do you want to go fishing? So he loves being out there. He doesn't care what size fish we're on. The small one's the exact same as a 50-pounder to him.
Right.
So, to me, he likes catching the small ones more because he can control them, and it's just more of a
more on
real,
his level.
it's more of a real fight. Whereas a 50, he's smoked after he's done, and he's finished for the day. So
Yeah, and you're over there like, oh man, you just caught a 50-pounder, you know, and he's like,
See that?
what's the, yeah, what's the big deal, you know? Yeah. We would all be terrible coaches.
I wouldn't even attempt it. You know, that's what we need more now. You know, we need to get them kids back out there, you know, and just put them on these boats, you know, get them away from the TV and stuff, and just, you know, the way we used to be. If we could get everybody like that, I believe things would be a lot different.
Things would start, you know, like everything goes in cycles. Things would start turning back around.
Yeah.
You know, just like fishing. The fish in our area right now are not really that great, but we've had a good bait hatch for the last 3 years.
yeah, it's
So we're
crazy
starting
how much bait's in the water.
right. You
It's
know,
crazy.
everything's starting to turn back around. You know, everything goes in cycles.
It's definitely cyclical. We had a catfish spawn in like wintertime last year. So I know like late winter, I was catching catfish that were 1.5 inches long. I'm like, damn, these are like 2-month-old catfish right here in the
Yeah.
middle heart of winter. So
Exactly.
like,
And winter is my favorite time to fish.
yeah, me too. There's just fewer boats on the water. It's pleasant. You can fish all day long.
Yeah.
And the fishing, the big fish fishing is incredible in the winter.
That's
Yeah.
one of the fact that she likes waking me up early on the cold mornings. Hey, let's go to the boat. Let's go. Yeah, because you know when you're out there, you know pretty much that river is going to be just you and the duck hunters, pretty much. You know, and it's just totally just like nice. You ain't got to worry about it. So
Yeah. Well, I will have to say that now that I've got the Pro Cat, and it's got an enclosure, it's like, wow, this is like top-notch fishing. You know, you ain't not gonna zip that thing to go out there and catch that fish. You know, sport fishing. The winter I caught the first fish I caught in the 80s. It was cold. That winter though, we had one heck of a season. We were catching, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, just day after day after day after day. And I mean, we were going every day. You know, we were using Ken's bass boat. You know, you were froze. You know, you had icicles coming out of your eyes, but you'd sit there all day long because you was waiting for that next one. You know, and that like the next year it was flooding and it wasn't quite as good, but I mean, there was plenty of days we flew down that river and I was rolled up in a sleeping bag in the floorboard, you know, and then you could feel when we slowed down, you know, my head pop up, it's time to fish, you know. And I will have to say you're a little spoiled now with the enclosure, you know.
I don't have an enclosure. I got a half enclosure. But you know, Texas, I mean, 20s is about as cold as we get. So I can handle the 20s. And really, when I'm fishing in the cold, I try to get my bait the day before. Because if you get bait that morning, it just seems like you get cold right
You
there
get
at the
wet.
beginning. It's hard to recover.
Yeah. If you
really,
get wet getting bait from the very get-go, you're done.
yeah, that's gonna make for a long day.
If I
Yeah.
know it's going to be cold, I try to go get the bait the afternoon before so that when I roll out there, I'm just ready to fish. I don't have to get wet. I don't have to spend a whole lot of time out of my gloves because
Yeah.
even when it's cold here in the 20s, by 9-10 o'clock, it's up into the 30s. You know, I mean, that's not too bad. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that's tolerable.
One of the other one reason that I like wintertime fishing and the duck is my river is my favorite place to go is it's spring fed. It stays 2 to 4 degrees warmer than the Tennessee River, so all the fish swim up the duck. and Paula's out there waiting on you.
About how many days a week do you like to fish? Do you go?
Well, since I've been sick, I haven't been able to, but at this point, every day. Every day. Every day.
Fish every day?
Every day. Before I got sick, it was every day.
How do your hands handle that? You must.
And at first I wore gloves all the time, because you can get an infection. But then it got to where, you didn't have time to put that glove on, and that fish broke your skin. It's like, I got a battle scar today. It's like, make sure the camera sees the blood here.
My finger here, because I planter board a lot, and I'm like, as I'm letting them out, that line is right there on that finger a lot, and by the end of trophy season, that thing will never heal. It's just because it's cold, it's wet all the time, it gets slime in it, and it's just like a cracked.
Did you know the slime on the blue cats? If you get like a cut or where he bites you, you can rub that slime on you, and it's like heals.
Paula, I don't know about that. What I have found is if I come home from fishing all day with wounds and slimy hands, if I go home and immediately douse my hands in alcohol,
that's probably
much better.
That's probably the most modern way to do it.
I just get all that stuff out of those wounds. I heal a lot better, but some of those wounds just don't heal from fall until winter. My knuckles are bloody. Those big fish they'll just rub the skin off the top of your knuckles.
Oh yeah.
They're just my buddies are like, damn, that's insane how your freaking hands look, dude.
But ain't it just like almost a high? It's like, oh, he just chomped down on me. All right.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So
she comes out, bloody hands and all this, but yet she doesn't like using a net that often. And I'm over there grab the net. She's like, no, I'm gonna reach in the water and just grab it.
No, see,
I want my net. I want my net because I fired Ken.
Like I drag a lot, Paula, so I'm pulling them through the back of all this craziness out there. So being able to reach out there out of the back of your boat with a net is.
If I got a big fish on the end of that line, I want my net.
Yeah. Because you lost at the boat, messing around.
I fired Ken back. I don't know, back in the early spring. He wasn't big, but I got him to the boat, and Ken says, I kept saying, get the net, and he said, it's on video too. He said, I'm just going to reach down and grab him. So he hands me the phone. I'm holding the pole and the phone, and I felt it. I felt it when that fish come off that hook. I was like, and I said a few things, and Kim walked into the enclosure, and I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going to get the net. I said, it's too late for the net now. You're fired. But, of course, we were just kidding around. But, no, I want my net. I want that fish in that boat, and then I'll reach my hand in. I'll take that hook out, and I'll pick him up and hug him and kiss him. And, I love catching a fish.
Usually if I'm handing them, it's because we've doubled or tripled up, and that net is tangled up in a mess in the boat. And I'm like, we got one on, and I need to get this one in. We got one in the boat. I'm just going to grab this damn thing and get it in. So.
Yeah, we were fishing. This is on my YouTube channel. We were fishing it. We were on the Duck, and it was just a light drizzle. And I had 3 rods go down on the same side. I actually had 4 down, but we couldn't show it because I had 3. I got one in, just laid the pole down. I was reeling down on this one, and I took my left hand. I was reeling both. That was the absolute blast. To have so many rods going, and then when that was over with, I had to run over and get the fourth one. That don't happen very often. So that was.
That's called catfish chaos right there. And I'll tell you, we do that on our lives, and I will catch drama for that because guys will say, you need to get that first fish back in the water. I'm like, it's wintertime, man. This thing can
Yeah,
live out
they're
of water
fine.
for over an hour. And when
Yeah.
I put it back, even if it was out of the water for 30 minutes, when I put it back, it's not even going to be lethargic. It'll shoot straight back down to the bottom when it's 40 degrees outside. It's not like it's
Right.
85, 90 degrees out here. It's
One of
cold.
the great things about catfish is they're pretty resilient.
They are very resilient.
If you go to a bass weigh-in back in the day, things are probably a lot different now. And I think it's due to catfishing. Back in the day, when they released the bass, they were belly up.
Yeah.
A catfish can stay out of that water a lot longer than you think. You don't do it intentionally. Don't think, okay, well, I can ride around with this on the side of the boat for an hour and then I'll throw him back in the water. Don't be doing none of that mess. But, people watch your video and think, well, that fish has been out get the fish back in the water.
Yeah.
Really, it's not been as long as the people think that it has been.
Yeah. Yeah. And when it's cold outside, they can stay out of water for a long time.
Yes. And, I'm notorious if it's a really big fish and, I'm trying to manhandle him, and they go to fighting or something, I'm notorious of dropping them. They can take it. Don't think that they're, breaking a bone because they're not. I've dropped just about every fish I catch. I apologize to them.
I was fishing with my buddy Bill, and we caught 6 big ones. It was like back to back. We never had a chance to get one back in the water. By the time we were done, we had 6 big fish in the boat, and guys were like, I can't believe that you didn't get that first fish back. How dare you?" I'm like,
Yeah.
the fish went back down immediately. How dare me? I've been doing this a long time. I've never killed a fish. I've
Right.
never killed one. I mean,
Right.
I've had one when I was really young that a buddy dropped and it wouldn't go back down. But that was 25 years ago. We ate the damn thing. But now I haven't had a fish go belly up on me.
I haven't either.
Ever.
I haven't either. And that's something to be proud of, actually.
I agree. I'm not going to leave a fish if it won't go down. I won't leave it. I'll sit there with
you
it for
sit there
45 minutes. Eventually, the lactic acid leaves their muscles, and they just are like, okay, I'm ready, and they just swim off.
Off they go.
And, that guys will say, "Oh, that fish died." I'm like, that fish didn't die. I mean, I've caught enough fish that my buddy caught, is missing an eyeball that he caught. It was the exact same fish, got the same markings, everything.
Right. Now I hate catching one that's been, the hook is, you got him hooked and it's managed to get his eyeball. I hate that.
I hate that too, but they're resilient, Paula. I've caught fish with a bottom. I've caught a large catfish with the whole bottom jaw missing. It didn't even have a jaw, and it had healed up. It had been a long time since it sustained that injury. Now, I don't know how it got the injury, but it didn't have any jawbone. It was just a top portion, and that thing was still able to eat.
Exactly.
So, I mean,
catfish are
they're tough.
They're tough. They are a tough creature. They really are. To survive. Think about it. Flooding, the current, the changes of the water, the
The
heat.
temperature, the massive temperature changes. They'll be up in 2 feet of water where it's super hot, and then they'll shoot down to deep water where it's 20-degree difference in temperature,
Exactly.
which will kill a lot of animals, but not
Right.
but a catfish can take it
Right.
because they're
I mean,
tough.
catfish doesn't get the um, they don't get acknowledged, like the sport fish that they are. Uh,
Yeah, I think if people studied them a little, if they would do a little more studying,
research.
Yeah.
right, then I think that things would change. But they've been a food fish for so long, so uh,
Yeah.
I
No.
mean, we all grew up eating them.
Right. We grew up eating
My
them. I
dad
mean,
ate them. I was the first generation that turned them into a sports fish. Before
right.
that, every angler ate a catfish. 100% of the catfish coming out of the fishery got eaten. It doesn't matter what size they were.
Exactly.
Uh, I think our generation changed that, and it's really changed pretty dramatically in the last
And I
5.
hope it continues to do so. I hope that like the wildlife research. I don't know what states called what. Like here's TWRA, the DNR, or whatever. I hope everybody stays on them hard enough that they keep getting better regulations, better and better and better.
Yeah,
You know,
I think regulations are can go so far, but really, it's up to the
Education.
angler
Yeah.
to take it beyond the regulation. Where we have these regulations here, but and certain guys just won't follow them. It doesn't matter. They
Yeah.
don't care.
right,
They don't
More
care. They're
edu-
going to break the law. They're going to do what they've been doing the last 30 years, and they're going to do that their way.
Yep.
But I think a lot of the new guys coming up, they go beyond the regulation where you're allowed to keep one over 30 inches here, but the majority of the new guys are not keeping that one over 30 inches, or it would still be cleaned out. Just,
like in the state of Tennessee, a commercial fisherman is allowed to keep one over the limit, but they have to kill it. I don't like that. Instead of, why do you have to kill it? Just release it.
yeah,
If you don't want to keep it and kill it and sell it to the food, market or whatever, release it. I mean, it's not good to eat anyway. When they get so big, they're just not good to eat.
right.
So let that fish go and keep your other 100 that you caught.
They're
That's
easy to catch, and they call them eaters for a reason. And
right.
I would what I consider an eater is 2 to 5 pounds. They're very easy to catch. I could go get dinner right now. I could go get dinner on an off day, really easy. Now maybe it's not might not be so easy for some guys, but I think it's just they're easy to catch. Uh, People need to respect a fish that's 25 years old.
Yeah.
And that big fish is what's providing all those little eaters. So
Yeah,
there's
And,
room for all of us.
and
exactly. Leave.
you're starting to see a lot more education on the fish. A lot more studies, a lot more people. Just taking that knowledge and really turning things around. Actually, letting the trophy fish go. That's good to see. And we need a lot more of that education.
Yeah, I think I was telling Chris the other day. Ken is big into conservation, and I'm big into contamination. Uh, there was something on the news yesterday about the Cumberland River about no consumption from a certain area to another area. Uh, Fish don't know where A and B are. They swim on past B and go to C, D, and E. You know, our waters are polluted.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
so Paula, let me interject real quick because Clayton, the fishing nut, says he's eaten some big fish and they all taste good to him. His dad used to run jug lines and couldn't tell the difference. Now, I will tell you, when people say they're not good to eat, doesn't mean they don't taste good. What that means is they feed on filter feeders. Filter feeders are feeding off of the nasty shit, excuse my language, nasty crap on the bottom. They're feeding off the stuff on the bottom like PCBs, mercury that's fallen down from
Heavy
gas,
metals.
the
Yep.
the stuff out of fertilizers that settles on the bottom, and they eat that, and over time it accumulates in their system and they stockpile it. So
Yeah.
a 20-year-old fish has a ton of
Of
toxins in it.
contaminants.
So you might think it tastes good, but in reality, if you were to feed that to your pregnant wife
It could harm the
or your
baby.
child that's trying to grow, it could do some serious damage to their DNA, and it can really harm. It can really harm you. So when people say they're no good to eat, doesn't mean they don't taste good. They probably all. If you could try a turd, it tastes.
I don't know about that. I'd have to be
You can.
awful hungry.
You don't know what you're eating when it's fried. It could be a piece of fish. Trust me, I sneak stuff into my son all the time. He doesn't know what he's eating. I tell him it's chicken of the sea. He don't know that he's eating a crawfish or a shrimp or a piece of fish. He thinks it's chicken because a lot of stuff that's fried tastes the same. But point being is a big fish has a lot of toxins in it. It's not about whether it tastes good. It's about the accumulation over 25 years that never leaves his body. What has he eaten that has
In that
been
25
trapped
years.
in that 25 years?
And most of your toxins they build up in the fatty part. You know, it's in the fish itself, not just the fatty part. When you clean a fish, you're not going to get every single piece of fat off of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure it does taste good. Uh, I'm not going to eat them.
I,
I'm
hey,
going to
we
catch
got
them and I'm going to
legislative
release them.
consumption bans because in the 60s and 70s, there was a chemical plant that dumped PCBs into the lake, and they don't break down for long
Ever.
time. So you can't even eat a fish out of there. If you were to eat a fish out of there, they'd say if you eat 10 fish out of there a year, good chance you're going to have some type of adverse effect out from
Right.
that fishery.
Yeah.
Where I was born in Perry County, on the Buffalo River, there was a factory that dumped their waste into the water,
Yeah.
and the EPA caught them. This was in the 80s.
So, Paula, aren't most of the rivers at this point toxic?
Yes.
I mean,
We,
I know you're into water, to the purity of the what was the terminology you used? You said Ken's into conservation. You're into
contamination.
contamination. So most of our rivers are all contaminated at this point because
Right.
for whatever reason, the factories in the 50s and
You've got
60s.
so much. You've got so much industries that are building on the riverbanks,
Yeah.
or beside the river, like your please don't nobody come and shoot me or threaten to kill me or anything tonight, but like TVA, they have their ash ponds.
Yeah.
Back in I think it was the late 90s or early 20s, in Kingston, Tennessee, they had the big ash pond spill. Okay, there's a no consumption in that area. Like I was saying earlier, in the 80s on the Buffalo River, they dumped their waste and it was mercury. Mercury is a heavy metal. It went straight down.
Yeah.
And it's still there. This is 80, 90, 40 years later. It's still a no consumption.
Fuel.
You got fuel.
It is mercury and fertilizer, having tons of different chemicals that are in fertilizer. For people that spray Monsanto, Roundup, that winds up in the lake. So if you're on a fishery that has runoff from people's streets, where they're doing motor vehicles,
Every
gasoline.
fishery has a runoff. Every one of them.
And Chris,
Exactly. So guys think, oh, it just depends on the fishery. But at this point, unless you are way out in the country where there is not anything around that lake, but even then, you
It's
have
still contaminated
yes, even then
because
because
somewhere upstream
crops
there's a farmer that sprayed their crops. It rained.
with
It washed
Roundup,
down in the creek. The
with
creek run
Roundup.
off into the little, stream that you're fishing, and that stream runs off into the smaller river that runs off into the bigger river.
Right. So I
Right
think
now,
that's probably
it
the most important thing when you're going to, if you're going to eat a fish, a 2 to 3 4 pounder is a young fish. He
anything
hasn't
10 pounds and under.
he
Right
hasn't
now is the
been
safest fish because they have less fat.
yeah, and they have been in the water long, haven't been in that water eating, and a smaller fish does not eat the filter feeder as much. They're like they scavenge, which is might not be any better, but a filter feeding fish eats the phytoplankton and the stuff that's on the bottom where all that nasty stuff is laying. And then the big fish comes and eats that fish. And then
Right.
that's his main diet. So he's eating filter feeders all day long.
oh yeah,
Right. Right now in Memphis, I don't say right now, Memphis was number 5 in the United States with the highest level of arsenic in the water. Now that's the Mississippi River. That should tell us something. I mean, I'm not saying don't go swimming or, because you're going to come up and your skin's going to peel off. But we are the ones doing this to ourselves.
yeah.
We've got to have better DNRs or whatever y'all won't call them. I just call them TWRA officers. There's got to be better EPA restrictions. Even sewage. Think about that. Sewage.
Well, they say that now from the sewage, because most municipalities dump their treated wastewater back into the fishery or into the river, and pharmaceuticals don't break down. So women's estrogen, that's winding up in your fish now. Now there's measurable amounts of estrogen that women take because of hormones. You know, just weird, really weird stuff that you wouldn't think would show up into a fish
Yeah.
are showing up because of the wastewater that's treated. But you treat the wastewater, but a lot of the stuff,
What are you treating it with? A
That's-
chemical.
That's it.
yeah, and then they
There's more
just dump it
chemicals
right
on-
into our. We have like 4 city municipalities that dump into our lake, and I see people over there like swimming around the outlet, and I'm like, that's poopy water.
Yeah, you're in the poopy section. I mean, it's like I'm going to use me for an example. Big Richland Creek runs through our property and comes out at the bay at Mason's boat dock, and the mouth of the Big Richland drops off into the Tennessee is where I caught my 88. Okay, behind my house is Big Richland. Got an awesome swimming hole. When I got diagnosed with cancer, I wouldn't go swimming with my grandkids because I was in enough trouble. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't wade in that water because upstream, somebody's dumping their sewage. There's cows, there's pigs, there's horses. What are they eating?
Yeah.
What have they been shot up with to make them, have big muscles and whatnot, and then they're pooping in the water and it's floating on down. Okay, that could have caused me to get sicker quicker. Like when I had my port, I haven't been swimming this year one time, and that's because we got our pool. But before, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I jumped in a
I
pool of
fish. Hey,
chemicals.
I swim a lot less in our lake, knowing how much crap flows into that thing.
Right. I mean, think about these hospitals. Uh, I mean, if everybody's following their guidelines, you know, and doing everything they're supposed to do, that's wonderful. That is fantastic. But all of us know that there's a lot of these big corporations that want to cut corners. Uh, Somebody's too tired to carry their toxic dump truck all the way over across town, so I'm just gonna stop and dump it on this, you know, on this country road in this creek, and it flows into the main river. This happens every day, all day long, day in and day out. We have to have more, and it's hard because uh, I know how stretched Ken was when he was a TWRA officer. He was stretched thin, out at night because you had spotlighters or, every holiday boating accidents and stuff. It's hard to get them to catch like commercial fishermen stretching nets all the way across the,
Yeah,
it's they're
that's probably
stretched
the
thin.
least of their concern. It's
That's it.
public safety is probably. I think game
Safety
wardens,
is their number
public
one.
safety is like their number one thing now. They're so worried about the drunks and the
The
inexperienced
drunks,
boaters
right,
killing people or
right.
just doing dumb stuff that they can't even
Stupid
really
stuff.
do what they were meant to do at this point. They're not even really
Yep.
game wardens. They're more like lake policemen that's keeping
Right.
the idiots from killing people.
And it's crazy too because the year Ken retired, it was probably 2 months before he retired. He was coming out of the bay in New Johnsonville, fixing to go into the main river, and a 20-year-old boy comes flying to go into the bay, and Ken had a brand new game warden boat. I mean, it was so pretty, and he just smacked right into Ken. It was like,
Oh,
30 years he never had a boating accident or nothing, and this boy just, and he was wasted. But if it had been you or me or you in our boats, it'd have been probably a whole different story. Ken had a big boat. Of course, they all had to be blood tested, and the boy didn't pass his blood test. But Ken said the worst thing, what he hated the most, being a game warden for 30 years, was boating accidents. What are you laughing about up there?
I'm laughing about certified Clayton's comment. Deep fried turd does not taste good.
It wouldn't.
You get my point, though. You can fry anything. You don't even know what you're eating.
Well, when you go to McDonald's, you don't know what you're getting.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody had a bad day and dropped your patty on the ground. I mean,
Yep, I'm not going to McDonald's now.
just think about
It's
it.
true. It's very true.
We have a huge garden. I can, and Ken tries his best not to spray our garden.
Yeah.
If
That's the best way.
you know what I'm saying, and
My dad always used to pick the bugs off.
right, tobacco
Potato.
worms
Yeah,
off your tomato plants,
But yep, the
green worms with the horn on it.
potato worms, all that. He pick them off by hand. You got to go out there every day and
Pick them
tend
and
to the
squish
garden.
them.
It's a lot of work. Most people
Yeah.
don't want to deal with that.
That's
But
just like my mama said. I've got y'all to move the weeds out, so that's all we need. We were.
Ooh, you were
always
punished
doing
like
the
us. When you got in trouble with your brothers or your sisters, pick a row. And
That's
you went
it.
out there and you pulled weeds.
There wasn't no spraying chemicals. It's picking weeds by hand or taking a hoe and having to go through each one of them.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I hated that.
Yeah, boy, we didn't get in trouble much. Whew.
And then you
Actually, we was in trouble every day.
Yeah. Oh man. I tell you what, them nets used to get all over you. You out there sweating, and it's like, ah.
Yeah, we had a name for them gnats, but I'm not going to say it. It starts with the P, you know. Yeah, is that what y'all called them?
Yeah.
P or gnats?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hated them things.
Oh man.
Sweat bees. Whew.
Then were the days that you don't forget about, man. It's just
I'll
time
tell you
for
what,
that.
but when I was a boy, when we were catching bait, we got it out of the garden a lot of times. We used
Tobacco
tomato
rolls.
caterpillars. We used potato bugs. We had a couple cottonwood trees. I get cottonwood beetles. I mean, all good bait.
Locusts.
Yeah, locusts. Hey,
Would
I
never,
caught some giant bass on locusts because they'd skip
Yeah.
across the water.
you would
and
never
had
go to the
red-
store and
right?
get your worms. You would always go to the swamp
Always
and
dig
get
them.
worms.
Go to
They
the
get
bar and
worms.
get the
Hey,
yes.
we catch grasshoppers. I'd have a seine net. You know, when I was a kid, we had ghost minnows. I don't even think they have ghost minnows in my lake now. I think they've been like it's too toxic. They just died. Now we
Minnow
got
baskets. Did y'all have minnow baskets? And you'd go check them if you get off school
Yeah.
bus, go check your
oh
minnow
yeah
basket and have
Yeah.
a snake in it and minnows and fit. You know, it's
yeah we'd make a crawfish trap.
Yeah.
We get like a screen from a window. Put some wires on each corner. Put a piece of bacon in the middle. Lay it in the crick hole, and then wait about 10 minutes, and then pull that thing out. You got bunch of
yeah.
crawfish. I
Man,
mean,
that was fun.
you
Wasn't it?
catch whatever fish is in the lake on a crawfish.
I think we all could survive on naked and afraid. I think we could make it.
I don't.
You
I
get
don't
two
know if I.
things. I'm gonna ask for my clothes, and that's it. And a pair of shoes. I can do the rest. Just don't drop me off in Africa or nothing, because I
Oh,
don't.
damn.
That was no. I tell you what, I've had so much fun tonight, Chris, and we've had so many good people in chat and stuff asking and talking, and they all love you, Paula. They really do. And,
Well, I appreciate it.
and all I've seen is so many people like just wanting to be like you and just saying, hey, it's good to see you, and just awesome comments and stuff from chat tonight.
I appreciate it, and I try to say it every time I make a post. You guys don't know how much your support throughout this whole ordeal has kept me going. First I have to give God the credit, but the support was, the days that I didn't want to get up, I didn't want to open my eyes. I didn't want to be sick. I didn't want to get up, get dressed, and go to work. You guys pushed me to get up and go. I'll never, ever forget, ever, and we'll be forever grateful for the support that it's like the catfish community, and all my friends, that don't fish or just friends on Facebook or whatnot. It's amazing. People that I've never seen in my life, it's until you go through it, you'll never know it. It is embedded in my heart and always will be.
That's it.
So
But
don't give up on me. I promise you, I will be out there. Next weekend is actually the world champion catfish in
I
Pickwick.
saw that. Steve Douglas he said he's going to try to get it's fallen off or whatnot over the years.
Yeah,
But he's going to try to
me and
keep that
Steve,
mantle going. I think that's
and
cool.
Peel and Drag fished it last year, and I was real sick, but we fished it, and we got fourth place. This year it's me, Peel and Drag, and a guy named Chuck that come to the benefit tournament they had for me. I never met the man, but he wanted to fish this tournament. So, he's going to be on the boat with me and Peel and Drag. And
That'll
we're
be a
coming
good
in with
time.
first place. So, I hate to hurt Steve's feelings, but we're going to come in first place. Don't put your big boat in front of mine because mine will jump over.
Paula, it's good. I see that drive. I see you. I mean, you getting ready to turn it up a notch. I see you getting ready to do it, and that is so awesome. It really
I am fixing to be full blast.
Well, I tell you, and Chris, I know before we end the show tonight, I know we got a lot of good sponsors and everything, to give a shout out to.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you to Carolina Lakeweights. I know y'all have done a ton for me. You're always supporting me and my son. I appreciate everything y'all do for me. Paula, we love having you on the team. You're a great fit. I knew you were going to be perfect. We don't really bring on a lot of people that weren't using the product, but you said you'd used them before and that you were confident in using them. And I told Jamie there could be a better person. I know Paula's going to be a perfect fit. You've been great ever since we brought you on.
Well, thank you.
Right into our family. We're Carolina Lakeweights is a family more than a team. We love having you with us. I just can't tell you how much we appreciate you being with us. And I mean, I don't know what it all really means other than we're a big family that tries to help each other get to where each one of us want to go. We're all
y'all
different.
Y'all have a different aura around you. You know what I'm saying? You're a whole different ball game, and it's a good feeling. There's no drama. There's no blah 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 blah. It's like you said, one big family.
That's it.
That I love that.
And I will tell you, Rebecca said that we've got to get there and do some fishing with you shortly. So we got to make them plans.
I want to see that. If y'all do that, y'all got to go live. Please go live. I would love to see Paula and Jamie and Rebecca fishing together. That would be
Jamie wouldn't have a chance.
That would be a great
With
show.
you and Rebecca, I would just sit back and let y'all get.
Just sit back and hold the net.
Hold the net. That's right.
Get the net, Jamie.
Maybe I won't get fired.
Jamie won't get to catch any fish that night, but that's all right.
Me and Rebecca will work it out. One of us will have the right side and the other the left side, but we'll work it out.
There you go. That would be awesome, and we definitely got to set that up real soon. So we definitely got to get up there.
Hey, anytime. Y'all, anybody's welcome to my house anytime. We'll go fishing.
I live 1,000 miles from you guys, but I will see y'all at CatCon. So I know both y'all are going to be there. I'm going to be helping Carolina Lakeweights best I can. Paula, I know you go. I saw you there last year, but we weren't really friendly. So it'll be good to see. We weren't friends. I mean, what am I going to say?
So this time I can just walk up to you and just pat you on the shoulder, huh?
I saw her over there hugging on Matt Knight, and I'm like, all right, well.
Hey, Matt's a super great guy. He is just like, I met him the first year in Pigeon Forge. And I walked up to him and I said, man, it is such an honor to meet you. And I think he told Chuck Watkins, said, she told me it was an honor to meet me. She don't realize it was an honor for me to meet her, and it was like, wow, I didn't even know he knew who I was, So he's a super great guy.
He's good people. He's been good to both me and Jamie. So I know you've been mixed in with the bunch now. So I think it's cool that we're all, I don't know what you call it, but we're all in
getting along.
One happy family.
One happy family.
We're all one big happy family.
That's it.
I'm looking forward to see where it all goes from here.
Me too. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get to Pickwick and show off all my stickers on my boat.
Yeah,
You know,
I
I've
know
done
that's
been
going to be looking cool.
rearranging.
I haven't even had time to put all mine on. Jamie
I've
sent me
still got to
some.
get some of mine
I
on.
got man. I'm like I'm looking at I look at my boat picture. I'm like, where am I going to put these things?
I know it's like, man, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
move this one.
yeah. That's what I'm like, man. I gotta have to take that one off, but I'm gonna have to get one to put it over here to make it all.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, but I can't cover that up.
And I'm like, guys, this year I'm gonna take a lot of pictures next to like with all my stickers on the boat.
I'm in Ken's office, in the game warden's office. I wished I'd have done this in my fishing room, because like y'all are in y'all's little fishing area. I've got pictures of, me and Steve Douglas, or me and Peeling Drag, or me and Chris Flores, or, and there's thousands of pictures and all my little cards from the Catfish conference, and just, the dollar bills stuck on the wall that I won from somebody from a bet, or, I save something from everything I do.
Well, I tell you, this, like I said, this has been an honor and it's been a privilege to sit here and talk with you tonight, Paula. And I can't wait to get myself and Rebecca to get up there and do some fishing, get to go up there and see y'all at CatCon and just have a good time. That's
Me too.
Looking forward to it. That's for sure.
Well, thank y'all for having me.
Thanks for coming on, Paula.
Yes.
We appreciate you. Love having you with us. I know I've said it 3 times now, but
That's all right. You say again.
we love it. We love having you with us. You fit perfect with what our family type deal with, you're just a great addition to the team. Proud, super honored to have you with us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much we love having you. So
thank you so much.
Thanks for being who you are and what you do, and just wanting to be a part of what we do. So you make us better, and hopefully we can help you along the way as well. So that's kind of the Carolina Lake Weights way. We like it that everybody kind of benefits. We try to help as much, but as they help us. So we appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate y'all, and I look forward to the future.
We're just beginning. It's just beginning. So
yeah, it's just firing up.
I'm fixing to go break Micah's record, and I'm gonna be the first woman inducted into the Catfish Hall of Fame. I got some goals now.
I'll put $50 if you'll do that. That's for sure.
I'll vote
I'm
for
gonna
you
try.
for sure. I'll vote for you for sure. And I'll push for that for the Golden Whiskers if they're going. You might get the legend. You might get the legend award this year. So
yes.
I kind of doubt that.
when they start putting up the nominations for the legend, you bet we're all going to be pushing for you.
That's it
For you.
You got one heck of a team behind you, Paula. That's for sure.
Yeah,
well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
All our guys are going to get behind whatever we try to do. Now, we may not be the biggest brand in the world, but all our guys are family. So we're going to do what we do to try to help everybody. So
yeah, we got the heart. So that's all we need is the heart, man.
That's right. There you go. If you got the heart, you got it all.
That's it.
That's right.
And I like to give a big shout out again, like I said, to chat. Everybody's sticking around, having a good time. That's what it's all about. And like I said, this has been one heck of a show, and I'm ready for the next one.
Jamie, one thing that we forget to do a lot is to mention our sponsors.
Yes.
And after we're done with every show, I'm like, damn it, we forgot to mention our sponsors.
We normally
you don't have to wash your mouth out with soap.
So let's give these guys some shout outs, because a lot of the stuff we couldn't do without the people that support us. So first of all, I want to thank my family for supporting me. I want to thank Carolina Lake Weights probably most of all. I want to thank Mad Cats, Parks Planer Boards, Demon Dragons. I want to thank Multi-Bar Rod Racks. I want to thank Knick-Knacks Custom Bait Boards. But let me tell you, SmackDown Rod Holders has been sponsoring our actual show, and they've given us rod holders to give away to some guys. Now we're probably just gonna keep promoting a while before we give them away. But I think it's awesome that SmackDown wants to promote little guys like us who are basically just fun fishermen. Jamie does fish in tournaments, but we're pretty much fun fishermen for the most part. I know Paula, she's the queen of catfishing, so she's big time. But
and I
did want to thank everybody. Jamie, you probably want to give a shout out to
Warrior Energy Drinks. I like to thank them guys. You know, they've been real good to us, and I like to give them a shout out. But first of all, I want to give a shout out to Rebecca, heart and soul of Carolina Lake Weights. Without her, this couldn't happen.
I agree.
What really makes this happen. And Paula,
love Rebecca. Rebecca is the heart and soul. Guys that don't know, Rebecca is the muscle behind the hustle.
That's it. So
without Rebecca, there is no Carolina Lake Weights.
That's it. And to her and to our family for supporting what we do. And Paula, she's your big fan, girl. So.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Rebecca loves you, but we all love Paula.
That's it.
She's an easy one to love. So
Ken might be screwed, y'all.
We did it right tonight. We got Paula here. We had a good time. We said our sponsors, man. This has been excellent.
Yeah, I had a great time. Paula, I hope you had fun.
I had a blast. You're going to have to eat some soap.
And Paula, I told you
if all I said was the D word, then I'm doing pretty good. So.
Hey, if you heard me in a day's time, you'd think, man, she's got a mouth like a sailor. But one thing I was taught is you don't, you know, if you're videoing, you don't want to say certain things.
Yeah, we try to keep it clean.
Yeah.
You know, we do try to keep it clean. But sometimes
it just slips out of there.
Hey, this is live. This is who we are. We real people. We don't put it on. We're real people. This is who Carolina Lake Weights is, and we're not going to put it on. This is us.
Then I'm in the perfect spot there.
But one thing is, guys, we are a family. We are a family. We are a kid-friendly brand, so it is important. I know it's important for me to keep it clean for the kiddos. It's important for me to keep a clean deal for just the family stuff because I just, you know, there's so much nasty stuff the kids are, you know, exposed to. It doesn't need to be in the catfishing thing. So it is important to keep it clean. So we do try to do that with Carolina Lake Weights. We make mistakes.
I make them all the time. I mean, you'll catch it on my videos. I'll say, well, shit. And then I'll try to catch it real quick and say, shoot.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'll have to come back and say, I apologize. I got so excited, guys. I just.
What comes in here is.
Whoops.
I mean, I'm guilty too. I'm guilty too. But if that's the worst, if that's the worst we do, we're pretty good people.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not, you know, to flagrantly do it like some people do is one thing. To try to, you know, I think we need to try to be a good example for the kids. We got a lot of kids on our team. We do a weekly kids big fish not competition really, but just a kid of the week type deal. So, and really, I think it's one of the coolest things in catfishing. So,
oh yeah,
and stick around. I mentioned of our youth anglers. Stick around. We got some announcements coming up that we're actually going to do for our youth anglers. Can't wait until we get that taken care of and give a little bit back to them because them little guys, man, they work hard and we're so proud of them.
So I want to give a little insight on what's going to be going on. I know a lot of people have left, but there's still some of y'all hanging out. We're going to be naming some products after some of the kids. We're going to be naming some of the products after some of our sponsored and pro staff anglers, like
right next door to us.
Oh,
I
Lord.
think it's cool. What does it really mean other than I think it's an honor.
Oh, yeah.
It's just an honor. I mean, I don't,
Yeah,
that's really
when
all
you
there
had
is to it.
Matt Jones on and he talked about sponsorship, he really hit some really key points about sponsorship. Uh, if somebody wants me to use their product, first of all, I'm going to want to like it first.
Right.
And if I choose to like it and use it, you know, I shouldn't have to be on the phone 7 days a week. Look, I got a tournament coming up next week. I got to have some so and so. They should be on the phone saying, "Are you good? Do you got everything you need?" Sponsorship. People think, "Oh, I want this sponsor. I want this. So and so to sponsor me. So and so and so and so." That ain't what it's about. You get all these names and stuff. That don't make you a angler. The products you use, you go out there, you use them, and you show that you're using a good product. People will want to sponsor you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Paula, there was somebody made a post today in Mad Cats about what's the deal with the pro staff? How do you get on pro staff? And all these different guys came in, said all these different things. And I said, I can only speak for myself. I know how I got on all of them. For one, you use the product that you like. And if you like the product, you tell your people about it. You do need to have some type of following, but you need to be a positive force in the catfishing world, where you're helping people, you're open, you're doing those types of things, and you need to catch good fish. Obviously, now certain brands aren't as they just want to bring an angler up and they like to grow together, but a lot of them want a guy who's catching fish and
right.
sharing their journey along the way in a positive light. And then you shine the light on the product, and the pro staff stuff will all just come to you.
It'll come.
You
It'll
don't
fall
have
into
to
place.
ask. And
Right.
the more every pro staffer is not treated the same. If you're bringing people in, you're probably going to get products for free.
Right.
If you're just part of the team and you're doing a little bit of promoting, you're probably going to get a discount. That's just economics. These are mom and pops types businesses that are just trying to make it, and they're trying to help out these anglers, and in turn the anglers are trying to help out the brands that they love, and hopefully we can all grow together.
Yep.
And it's beneficial for both sides. Sometimes it doesn't. I'm a team leader, I know. Sometimes it doesn't work out with the angler, and sometimes you're like, damn, this is the best teammate in the world. We just happen to have a bunch of really good teammates on Carolina Lakeways.
And
Yeah.
Chris, before we go, this is what makes us drive, myself and Rebecca, is when you see comments in chat, CLW for life. Love you guys. It's comments like that drives us. Working full-time jobs, doing this at home day in, day out and stuff, 7 days a week. It's y'all that just drives us to do this and want us to be able to do more. So, I want to say thank you very much for everybody.
Jamie, I love you, buddy. You're my brother. I do this. Guys are like, what do you get out of it, Chris? I was like, I tell people what I get out of it most is helping my buddy be successful. I could go work an extra 3 hours and get all this crap paid for. It's not about getting the free stuff for me as much as it is helping
About
my
building
friends.
that friendship.
That's it.
And in return, I do get some stuff. There's no doubt about it. I mean, yes, these brands support me and my son, but I also put in a lot of effort and work towards helping the people that I like. I'm going to help the people that I like more than I'm going to help just Joe Blow who says, here's some free whatever. It's just to me, that's what the pro staff is about. It's about a family. It's about the team. It's about the brotherhood.
Truly caring.
It's about
You
the
truly care.
Yes,
That's it.
that's it.
But you know, guys, I love it, man. This is what it's all about. And thank y'all so much for everything y'all do for us here at Carolina Lakeweights. And I speak for myself and Rebecca. I know if she's right here, she'll tell you the same thing. We appreciate everyone, and we love you guys in chat. That means a lot to us. It really does. And thank y'all so much.
Well, Jamie, I'm gonna keep helping you, buddy. We're brothers.
That's it.
Paula, you're my sister now, so
throw you out there,
I'm gonna
boy.
help you. Anything you need, you just ask. I'm gonna try to do what I can do to help you. You know, it doesn't matter if it's fishing related or not. If I can help you, I'm gonna do it.
That's it.
You know, we're
Y'all are super great guys. Y'all are super great guys.
That's just the way that we operate. So we do appreciate everybody that's tuned in tonight and spent some time with us. I know we got off on some tangents like Indian artifacts.
Making slingshots.
Slingshots and raising
wings out the garden.
But, you know, you just don't know where the show's ever going to lead. And I like this free and just kind of flows and goes wherever it goes. So
that's it.
Paula, you're awesome. We love you. Jamie, you're my brother.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Paula. Thank you.
For all the Carolina Lakeweights family, El Gato Azul, the queen of catfishing and Carolina Lakeweights. God bless. Tight lines. Azul out.
See y'all soon.